Could you guys hear me, or was I just talking to myself for the last like minute and a half? I think I was just talking to myself for the last like minute and a half. Fucking hilarious. Yeah, that shows you how with it I am. No joke, I did just wake up a little earlier. Um, like I said in the chat. Oh man. Durr. Yeah. That's my brain right now. But oh man, I'm sad that I missed uh said faction earlier, but sometimes when the body just kind of knocks you out, you know. What's up, fitted a bit? Fitted a bit. How you doing, brother? Let's see. I'm just catching up on a few things. Dude, Captain Brad, how you been, man? Hope you had a good holiday. Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well, brother. Haven't heard from you in a little bit. I hope everything is going well. Uh, dude, okay, we're gonna take a mild diversion because I want to kind of talk to Captain Brad for a second here. Now I just got to go through my pile of stuff because I recently really started to take a look at how the super lock works, and it's a very interesting engagement system. There's a pin right here, and the super lock, like this back edge, kind of jams against this bar and this flat, which is coming into contact with the stomp pin. And it actually makes for a really, really strong locking mechanism. Now, I have messaged, what's his name, Snex, about whether or not this really is an open source locking system. Yeah, LCAP, it is from the Vision, you know, from the Vision FG, actually, in particular. And what up, Kyle? How you doing, brother? Sorry to cut into your corn hub time, but what's really interesting is Sandrin knives, the guys who make those carbon or those ceramic blades and stuff like that. They have done their own version of it. What up, Drinkwater? How you doing? And so theirs is very interesting because whereas this guy, when you pull it, it kind of goes upward because of this angle here. It has to clear this angle in order to, you know, get out of the pathway of the blade. The Sandrin Knives one goes just straight back and forth, which is interesting. And their piece, like this, that interfaces with the blade, is almost like wedge shaped. I think I have. Um, I think I may have a photo that I can share with you guys. Sorry to make you crazy, Maddie. You know, I just kind of assumed that they sent them all out at the same time. So that's why I told you to check your email, because I said, whatchamacallit, you know, they sent me mine, so I would assume that they had sent you yours. But let me see if I can pull. I think I have a screenshot of the Sandrin Knives version. Here it is. Yeah, here it is. No, I don't know if they sent it to you. I just know that I got mine, so I assumed that they sent yours, Maddie, because they generally do all the royalty reports at the same time. Um, so that's why I brought it up. So this is the Sandra Knives approach, and let me see if I can kind of zoom in here, so you can see. Um, eh, okay, this is sometimes Apple is annoying. There we go. So you can see how they do their wedge. They still have this portion over here making contact with the stomp pin, and their stomp pin is quite oversized. And then there's kind of curves and wedges in there, which I'm sure is plenty strong. Realistically, the liner or the scale, whatever it is going to fail. But what's really interesting is this part right here. I don't know if you guys are seeing like this little box that I'm making, but that forces the track to go horizontal, which is really interesting and also limits the travel. So you don't get the problem that people complained about with the Vision, that you can actually pull out the lock bar. And that was intended for cleaning, but I can see how it's annoying, you know? But what's going on, Roman? Everybody, this is the amazing Roman, our friend, my homie, like an amazing guy, and the creator of the TS 380 that Maddie, Stevie, and I all love. Does 3D modeling for me and for Maddie. The guy is. We love Roman around here. We love Roman. So yeah, this is another take on the super lock. So what is the most problematic part of the super lock, in my opinion, is actually this portion where the lock needs to. So the way it works here, I can actually show you pretty easily. So if we look here, right, this guy goes, and this keeps tension against this rounded portion of the tang, or like the back part of the blade. And then when it rotates, right, like this, it keeps tension on here, and this is what creates your detent. And there's like a stop pin underneath. That means that you have to have a big clearance here, but it also dictates this shape of the blade quite a bit. So if you look at it from this perspective, right, you can go in, but then you have to curve away to allow for this portion, right? So that makes doing like a traditional drop point, any like straight shape here, very difficult, because if you do like a straight shape, then it's going to be angled upwards like this. So that is a limitation of the super lock, unless you find a way to redesign it, which allows for, you know, a more traditional blade shape in the closed position. So I'm very curious, because supposedly Snec's latest model is a drop point, and I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see what it looks like. And if you guys don't know Snec's, I keep on trying to open my drink here and then like getting sidelined by talking about this stuff. But Snec's is a very, very insane knife maker, like legit knife maker. Check this out. So he is the creator of the Vision, And like this is one of the last like custom versions of the Vision. You can see like he and Winter Blade Co. kind of have a similar design language, or at least like thinking about form language. And he, his stuff gets used regularly in like kind of crazy environments like this. That's the custom, the few $1,000 custom that's being used to cut rope under the ocean. So pretty cool. I mean, not super deep, but who cares? Like, I don't know how many of your knives are getting used in an environment like this, but here's the thing. Whatchamacallit? This is the new model that he's working on. And I'm really curious to see like the blade profile, but also how he handled the super lock, because it's definitely going to be different. I can already tell by this portion that's exposed, but look at how he tests his knives. Yeah. Absolute beast. Absolute beast. But you can see, like, from the shape that it's a traditional drop point, and I'm really curious about how he redesigned the super lock to allow for that. I mean, I can see a couple of things, but I need to be able to see the blade interface with like the lock, like this area right here, and then even here, because like all this is blade. So he did a substantial design revision, you know. So it's this guy is a nutball, like an absolute nutball, and he is a badass. Super inspiring dude, honestly. Cole, aka Broke Ass Knives, we did a deep dive on him a while back, and his stuff is mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. He has such a different approach to all of his stuff. Such a different approach, and it all works. But like, look at those stop pins, bro. Those are like 5mm beefy ass stop pins. He means this shit to work, boy. There is no cutting corners with this man. So crazy. I mean, we don't need to watch him just fucking applying grease, though. But yeah, give this guy a look-see if you guys want to check out some real crazy stuff. That's, again, the Superlock V2 in the Vision, the OG Vision. Yeah, so sick. So crazy sick. Yeah, dudes. All right, let me catch up on the chat a little bit. Let's see where you guys are. Yeah, yeah, that's why I was just saying I need to catch up a little bit. Yeah, I kinda well, I grew up without snow tires, but that's like saying, eh, using iron sights is the only way when we have red dots and 1 to 8 LVPOs and 1 to 6 LVPOs. Design a thumbnail? What are you talking about? Yo, what's going on? So, okay, I've seen them go on Arizona custom knives for like a few thousand. But I've also like the OG like Vision prototype, I think went for like 12K or something like that. So, I mean, I can pull it up like on Arizona. Um, but yeah, like they're definitely at least 1.5K if I remember correctly. If not closer to 3K. But dude, I don't think I've seen one. Yeah, like I'm looking at whatchamacallit. Uh, I'm looking at white or Arizona custom knives, and there definitely isn't a vision, like a custom vision going on there right now. So, what's going on, budget guy? I know Twink Thing. Love you, brother. I definitely do. What's going on, Carco? How you doing? Let's see. Carco, you said there was one on Slice FK. Let's see. All right, let's see. Do. Okay. Okay. So here you go. Work knife. This is the answer for you. This guy, Snex Vision R, and the MUK, which is basically his like box cutter, went for 5 grand. Yeah, sold out at $5,000. Where's the MUK? Yeah, this is the MUK. Night work knife. Hope you have a good night, and hopefully this answer doesn't give you nightmares. Oh, so okay, guys, here we go. This is something that I wanted. I asked some guys earlier about this, and I wanted to ask your opinion about the finishes that we uses. And part of the reason that this came up because I have been, looking at a few different knives, none of which I'm buying anytime soon. But like we have the Speedliner here, and what's really funny is I am not a fan of like any of the finishes except like these two carbon fiber ones at all. Like I don't like this black stonewash that they do. It feels very like antique, you know? and you get this like bronze stonewash, which is okay. At least like the Wii logo pivot kind of like disappears in it. Um, but uh, this has kept me from buying like several Wii knives. And then when they do this like polished and blasted finish, it usually comes with like a big upcharge because they'll only put it together, let's say, with a Damascus blade, you know? And I don't want to pay Wii knives like $700. I don't want to pay them 600. Hell, I don't even want to pay them five, realistically speaking. And I don't know, like this style that they've developed kind of bothers me. And like now, they're gonna release this Tashi Barusha collab, and like, okay, like this just feels noisy to me. Like all of this detail here, right? And I would go for like the satin blade, which looks good, but I don't like this green, like the jungle wear fat carbon. Like, and $575 is crazy for 20 CV. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that this knife is made very differently. But yeah, like, okay, this is the one that I kind of like. I'm not gonna pay Wii Knife $682. You know, like it puts me off of buying stuff from them. And even you guys know, I love Gustavo Cecchini, right? Like I collect all of his knives, and I still haven't bought this one because like there's an upcharge for this version that is just like the blasted polished tie. And I hate that this Wii like logo pivot is just this, it stands out like a sore thumb. So like, okay, well then I should get like a black one because that kind of blends, and they've done the similar tone to the screws and stuff here. But it's just, it looks old. It looks used and antiqued. And the price also is a huge factor for me, you know? Like, this is better, I guess. But like, why couldn't they? I don't know. Like, it's just not my taste. So, what do you guys think? Like, I'm very, very curious. You know, uh, I'm gonna check that one out. Actually, let me pull that guy up. Okay, yeah. So, like, the Nefarious, I'm looking, is a bit better, but I really don't like some of the details, just like stylistically speaking. But yeah, I think you can get just a plain. Okay, yeah. So this is what caused me to think about it, and I'll let me look at some of the responses, and whatchamacallit, I'll talk about the Nefarious in a sec. You know, yes, they do, exactly. Let's see. Yeah, see, I think so too, but then you have to pay money and do work on something, which if I'm paying like 500 plus dollars, like I don't want to do, you know? No. Yeah, Joshua, like the gap between or the differences between Tashi, Cecchini, and Isham are massive, massive. And I have three examples. I have an example from each one of those guys, and I can show you. Like, there's nobody who's trying to be like anybody else there at all. Like, massively, you know. Um, yeah. See, I kind of feel this way, but not really. At least, like, they're innovative and they work with like interesting designers and their quality is excellent and their heat treats are excellent. It's just the finishes that really bother me, like, a lot, actually. Um, the reason why that knife, by the way, is $700 is because of how they've constructed it. If I'm not mistaken, it's an integral, and they actually like those panels, the carbon and the Timascus are almost like dovetailed into the scale or into the handle. So it does require a fair amount of work, and it's only one screw that holds it all together. So it's actually kind of impressive, but yeah, $700 is a lot. Is a lot. Um, let's see. I'm catching up, guys. I'm catching up. Yeah, see. Oh, I appreciate that, dude. I do appreciate that. I've got some crazy shit to show you guys. Get your opinions on tonight. I've been working on something a little bit tamer, or a few little tamer ideas, and then I have some like crazy ideas. But I'll get your 2 cents. Um, and but yeah, for me, I don't like a lot of wheeze, you know. So here's the thing. What got me thinking about this recently and talking about the finishes is the mad lad that is TNT Knives, right? If you guys don't know TNT, he does dope shit. Like, really, he's a custom knife maker, um, who does pretty damn impressive designs, actually. Like, he does a lot of fixed blades, and this kind of shit is right up my alley. Like, look at these grinds, you know? Look at that. That thing is, ooh, chef's kiss. Love that shit. Night, Cole. Have a good night. Hope you had a good day, brother. Even this, like, sick, just sick grinds, right? This one is one of my favorites. It's just, how do you even think about doing grinds like this? You know, it just pushes the boundaries. You know, what up, Neil? How you doing, brother? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I really, really dig on TNT, man. Like, the guy is really doing some cool shit, and he's an absolute inspiration to me. Like, just again, the way he handles his grinds, his blade proportions, they're just out of this world, you know? Uh, However, he recently posted this picture, and this is going to be his first, like, self kind of done OEM knife project, you know? And yeah, Kyle, this is that the well, this is a We collab, but not We branded. This is going to be a TNT collab knife. And I looked at it, and I'm just like, these horizontal lines through the surface kind of bother me, you know? And what's funny is, like, when we were talking earlier about the what the I think it was, no, it wasn't the Ziphius fuck, what was the model, guys, that you suggested I check out? I can't remember the name. I just had it open. Or maybe I could look through my history. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, the Neferis, right? I noticed that they do the same thing on the Neferis. You know, if you look at one of the versions, this one, right? They have those horizontal lines, like it's supposed to be a hand rubbed freaking titanium, and I don't know, that just bothers me. I Don't get me started also on this "we," engraved into the pocket clip, but yeah, when I saw these from TNT, I was just kind of like, uh, that takes a little away from me, you know? It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's not my favorite, I'll be honest, you know? So, again, what do you guys think, man? Like, yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely, Kyle. And the truth of the matter is, like, I'm thinking about this too, right? Like, there is it's something that I've been talking a lot with Cole and Maddie about, is that there is like a fucking formula right now, you know, where you can design stuff that is more sort of like, okay, this is well, not a perfect example, but this is a good example of the formula. Okay, you have set and ground flats or a stone washed blade or stone washed flats here, and then you know hand sanded, kind of flats or whatever, titanium, and that's it, right? And then you put your design spin on it, but of course, like, it can't be too crazy. Case in point, also, like this guy, right? The one that sold out first of this was the all titanium version, right? Not the one with the inlays, but all titanium. So you see, again, machined grinds, right? Freaking titanium, thumb studs, the basics, right? So, like, but just refined to like a pretty high level. So when you see this, like, oh, and also like no hardware on the show side, or minimal hardware on the show side, you know? So this completely falls into that formula, you know? And while you guys may not like it, because I don't like it, it is also what sells knives. I mean, for God's sakes, like, case in point, let's look at Vero. I mean, Vero hits this formula nail on the head, like this new model, right? One screw and the pivot, hand ground flats, simple titanium handle, clean lines, 3 screws even on the lock side. That's it, Look at this. And you get big influencers like this guy, Raven the Pirate, with 50K, who says, oh, this is my favorite, design so far. And, this guy is going to pick it up, and then he's going to blow it up with, 1,000 views, 2,000 views every post. And that's how you get your brand out there. So, like, it's a formula, guys. It really is. It's just your flavor, done simple, titanium handles, nice fit and finish. Sell. So, you know. You know. This is very true. This is very true. But there's still a lot of room, a lot of subtle room, you know? Very much so. It is awesome. I'll say this. So that actually also brings me to, again, kind of talking about finishes. My favorite is the Riot sort of blasted finish. It seems to be the most durable blasted finish that's out there, right? If you look at my God, how can I get this to show? But dude, my Necronaut here is scratched to shit. I don't think I'm going to be able to show it to you guys. But I have a lot of love scratches. We'll put it that way. All over this knife, you know? And so, like, I don't mind that personally. It's like a stonewash that develops over time, but also it tells you you fucking use your knives, you know. So when I did the Kaimano, which get mine out of my pocket, right? That's why I did that here as well. I did the blasted finish because I like it. And you can see, like, I love and I use mine a fair amount, actually. You can see from the pocket clip and, you know, the bolster, like, I use the crap out of my knife, you know? So, that for me is what appeals. I don't know about you guys. Night fitted a bit. Ghost Malone, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Always good to see you, man. All right, let's see. Hey, man, it's the way to grow a business. Unfortunately, it's not nice, but that's how these businesses grow for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm a big fan of black on black myself, also. Absolutely. I may or may not like it rough. You're gonna have to find out yourself, Kyle. There's nothing wrong with liking Laconico, honestly. Laconico is the master of minimalism, right? Like, this is something I'll tell all of you guys. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If it's so easy to do his minimal designs so well, then why does nobody else do them? And that's the truth of the matter, right? Like, it may seem like it's easy and it's like almost so easy that it's like effortless, but I can tell you it's not. Like, moving millimeters to get just the proportion so perfect and the line so spot on, like Laconico almost never fails ever in a design sense, and that takes skill. And to make what you do look effortless and easy rather than full of like contrived details to like make yourself look clever and like have good solutions when like really you're just kind of covering up for a shit design is incredibly hard. Is absolutely incredibly hard. There's not a single miss in any one of Laconico's designs. And as I said, if it was so easy, everybody would do it and nobody else does. So, just saying. Just saying. Yo, what's going on? How you doing, brother? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Good night, Kyle. Good night. Ghost, were you saying this kind of makes you think of an Arius Tonto? I mean, I'd take that as a compliment, personally. I don't know. Have you seen this much? This is mine that hopefully will be shipping in February to my first customers. A lot of people here in chat. But yeah, this is my Kaimano. This is the one in natural micarta. And this is the one in purple haze carbon fiber. Ooh, purple haze sexiness. Yeah. Ghost, like I love kind of mixing gentleman's knives with tactical knives with most important thing to me in the whole world, excellent ergos. And I have extra or double extra large hands, so I tend to design knives that fit people with, big mitts. And yeah, this guy is comfy. This is like 3.73 inch blade, hollow ground, S35 VN, Tonto tip, nice harpoon, so you can do those draw cuts with the Tonto edge there. Very excited for these to come and for people to experience them and live with them for real. So I've been thinking about doing a draw point version, but I have some other crazy ideas. So ball lock, I don't have a lot of experience with personally. They are very interesting to me, and I want to get a Manix actually. Partially because I think the Manix is maybe one of the best Spydercos ever made, but also just to experience and live with a ball lock for a while. Having said that, it is something that does kind of incur a little bit of extra cost and complexity. And I don't know where the legal boundaries are for patents. So that is a very kind of interesting area you got to look into for sure. Good night, One Moon. Take care of yourself, man. Oh yeah, dude. Nobody is fucking selling them, like, at all. At all. Oh, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do. It's very, very kind of you. I'm thinking about either doing that or after I help Captain Brad realize his design, we may see a Manganus steel super lock. We'll see. I'm very curious, Oh, El Cap, no worries, brother. No worries. I'll eventually pick one up. I've just been on a little bit of a grail hunt lately, and I know the Manix will be around, so that's the only reason I haven't really gotten around to picking one up. Speaking of, by the way, I finally got it. So if you guys know, like, I had about $700 worth of products stolen from me this Christmas, and this was one of them. and I'll just say that the manufacturer was kind enough to track one down for me and uh, getting me one of these. This is my latest acquisition. This is a Tashi Barusha SOS that was done by MechForce, which they did an incredible job on this, like right out of the box. Absolutely badass. Tashi Barusha is one of the few designers that I have followed for a long time. And the ergos like fit me just right. But this dude does beautiful, beautiful lines. And he's one of the guys that kind of inspired me to kind of consider the tang of the knife an extension of the lines. You'll see I do that with some of my knife designs. And this guy kind of got me to think a little bit differently like that. So Tashi Barusha is a beast, an absolute beast, you know. Budget guy, if you're gonna start comparing, you know, freaking, you know, top end knives to your Kershaws, I'm gonna mute you. Like, honestly. Not everything looks like your Kershaws, bro. Like, seriously. I love you, dude, but you gotta expose yourself to some other designers because these things have no correlation, you know, to Kershaw's. You know, you don't have to look at your own collection to compare it to. We all have Instagram, bro. Like I stare at stuff all day that is way out of my price range, and I get inspired. I see what's out there, but you can't keep comparing stuff to Kershaw's. Not everything's Kershaw. Just saying, man. Dude, yeah. Exactly. Made by MTech. Knife Nut. Dude, Riot 3000, 3500. Yeah, those are both Tashi's. The Justice. Like, here. We'll kind of talk about this stuff. Let me show you guys. So this is Tashi Barusha. Very, very cool dude. I got to meet him at Blade Show. Very, very nice. Very nice guy. So he did that Wii knife that I showed you earlier. Here you can kind of see how the thing, well, it's going to take a while. That video is a little long, but you can see how that scale slides in there. But he is known for doing like these guys, the Justices. These were collabs with CKF, Custom Knife Factory from Russia. He did that Speedliner, that design that I showed you guys earlier. What else? The Son of Sam, which is the knife that I just showed you guys. This is a custom version. So you can see how like the MechForce one is a pretty faithful reproduction of the OG concept, which is awesome, you know. But look at that. Yeah, just unbelievable. And the guy has just such a distinctive kind of sense of lines that he's really inspiring, you know, like just different. The guy thinks differently to everybody else. Dude, even his Bally song is freaking sick, you know? Check this thing out, man. I don't really care for Bally's, but that's a pretty Bally, I gotta say. That's very pretty, especially in the open position, you know? Um, what else? What else? I don't know. He does a lot of crazy shit, dude. I mean, not crazy when you compare him to Gustavo Cecchini, but suitably crazy. And what's funny is like some of his biggest inspiration comes from like Tom Mayo. If you guys know Tom Mayo has a very different style. But he once posted a photo of his Tom Mayo collection, and uh, really, Tom Mayo knives. Really, Tom Mayo doesn't have an Instagram? That's really interesting. But you guys have seen, I'm sure some of you have seen like these, right? This is a Tom Mayo design. This is why Tashi does the circles in his knives. It's a tribute to Tom Mayo. Sorry for the change in lighting. I have just automatic stuff. But yeah, dude. Tom Mayo is pretty sick. He's an OG, not personally my taste, but Tashi has like 77 or 78 different Tom Mayo designs, which is, or knives. A lot of the designs are pretty similar, but yeah, like these holes, like this one right here in the middle, that's why Tashi does the holes in his designs. You can see that, like right there. It's a tribute to Tom Mayo, you know? So very interesting stuff when you start digging into like the different guys, you know? Oh man. Let's see. Let me catch up, man. Oh, dude, the Polish customs have been, they are sick. I got to check out a couple of Hermans, and I can say this for the work that they've done, the precision, the price is justified. It's just a lot, you know. But the way I look at it is like if you really, really want something like that, it's worth saving up for and not buying like a couple of other knives, you know, personally. Um, Ooh, stick of taters. I don't know, to be honest. My knowledge doesn't go that deep and that far, but yeah, he's you know, that's you know, what you call it, the he is the one that I know of that kind of made it signature, you know. And yeah, dude, I mean, you can look at whatever you like, man. Like I look at stuff I can't afford all the time. It's all good, you know. There's no problem in looking. It just hurts to be spending. I'll tell you that much. That's why I only have one custom, and or yeah, and yeah, that was a stretch even for me, you know. Yeah, Hermans are really nice. They're really, really nice. I don't know this model. I'm gonna look at that. Let me see if I can find it. I'm I'm gonna see if I can track that down, dude. Because I've been getting introduced to like a whole bunch of new guys recently that I never knew existed. And my point of view is you can always learn and see and discover something new, that you never knew before. And dang, that's pretty. That is very pretty. Is this who you're talking about, Knife Nut? Cause look at that full hidden hardware, polished titanium liners. Dang. Okay, so this is the gun stock. Okay, I wanted to make sure. 3.6 inches? That's speaking my language. That's the right size. I'm not so into the blade, but I'll take a drop point version of this. Dang. Dude, I already follow him. Crazy. And yeah, me too. That's the problem. But the bank account is the limiting factor for sure. My bank account says no when I look, but I can't afford for sure. Yeah, man, you just got to turn tricks. That's all. I mean, that's selling my booty is what helped for me, honestly. Dude, what did you pick up already? It's January 6th, bro. Like, what? What did you get? Um, oh yeah, dude, they are sick. They are definitely very, very sick. They do some good stuff for sure. Absolutely for sure. I don't know if they do the crazy grinds though that I can come up with, but aren't they doing the Neves knives? Yeah, they are doing the Neves knives. Yeah, man. Fair, fair. You know, that's my philosophy, Kyle. That's exactly. Yeah, man. Dude, that's exactly how I do it, bro. That's exactly how I do it, man. 50 cents a trick, you want to look at my toes? 50 cents. You know? Got to get that OnlyFans money somehow. But as far as like fixed blade stuff goes, I have already opened up the conversation with the maker of this guy. This is my double X knives. I don't even have a name for it, but it's just a drop point with a harpoon. You can see from my hand, it's about a 3-finger knife, which I think is a good size for an EDC fixed blade. But I talked to him about kind of collaborating on the design and doing a small run on these guys. Having said that, what I want to do with him is to do it almost to a price. Like, I think for a lot of people that I spoke to, they don't like to spend more than like 180-ish to 220-ish on a custom like fixed blade, and this is handmade. This is not mass production. So we're looking into that. I would like to make it as affordable as possible, because I think it's nice to have a good quality fixed blade, if at all possible, like for EDC. I know Budget Guy earlier mentioned the Sea Snake, which is a great design, excellent EDC knife. And, you know, you can do stuff in more affordable steels. You don't need to use like S35. You can use 14C, for example. And that will bring the price down pretty dramatically, you know? So I'm looking into that, you know? I didn't know Chavez had a fixed blade. Oh no, I think I do actually. If it's the one that I'm thinking of, but I will not be buying any more Chavezes until they bring back the no screw hole um, pocket clips. They started to with their newest model, which is a very 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 good thing. But going, okay, yeah, that is the fixed blade that I thought about. But the screw holes in the pocket clip was such a no go for me. I hate it. It looks stupid, you know. And I hate to say it, but it's kind of a sign of the market when, you know, like an over $300 knife is now selling for under 300. Like these guys are, nobody wanted a kickstop version of the Redención. Like they barely sold. Look at this. You can pick one up for 280. You know, so they did not sell well. You combine the kickstop with the holes in the pocket clip in the head of the skull. Bad mix, man. People were not interested, you know. You know. They would look like horns if they did some engraving around them to make them look like horns, you know. Unfortunately, people are starting to think of it as that, but it's not. It's so ridiculous to me, like how people are starting to think of S35 as a budget steel, because it doesn't. I can tell you from personal experience, right? It's not budget. And like what's really funny is when the heat treat is right, and you can get the heat treat right easier than 20CV M390, you know, or any of its variants, right? It will actually outperform M390. Okay? Let me point something. I'll show you guys right here. I know this may not be of like major relevance to you guys like it is to me, right? But in the knife engineering, steel heat treating, and geometry, like this is the Bible on it, right? If you compare S35 VN versus M390, M390 on a scale of 1 to 10 for toughness is a 3.5. S35 VN is a 5. So nearly, nearly double. More, not quite double, but getting there, right? Edge retention, M390 is a 6.5 versus S35 VN being a 5, right? So it's a minor increase in edge retention. And I can tell you, I've had several M390 blades that are not properly heat treated that have worse edge retention than my S35 VN. And the one thing that M390 is superior in here, I don't know if that's going to show right there. This column, this last column, is corrosion resistance. It's at a 9 for corrosion resistance. That is all that M390 is good for, is corrosion resistance. Everybody makes a big deal about the edge retention, but it's not. It's actually not that good at edge retention. M4 has similar edge retention. Vanix has similar edge retention with better overall qualities. LMAX is very close. S45VN is very close. S30V has comparable edge retention to M390. But the only thing that M390 is actually good for is corrosion resistance, and nobody talks about it. That basically, like, if you go buy a Vero for $340, you're just buying basically a good corrosion resistant knife. And I have never heard of anybody having their S35, rust on them. I know I have to catch up. There's a lot of comments, but I can answer this pretty quickly. Dopey. Number one tool I use is this tracing surface here. You press this button and you get light that comes out of it, which is really great. Allows me to sketch over my designs very easily. I like to use these pens. These are pencils. I found them. They're very cheap. They're Japanese, though. You can get them on Amazon, which is where I got them. They're called Uniball Kuratoga, Kuratoga. What's really interesting about them, if you see this mechanism here, every time you put pressure, it actually rotates the lead that's in it, so that it constantly rotates and you're always on like a fresh edge. And then I use Uniball lead here, and this is their stuff that they say is like smudge proof, which I don't know if it's completely true, to be honest. But those are the principal tools. It's just pencil, paper, and that's it. And then I sketch and practice, But let me catch up. Yeah, 14C is a wonderful steel. Absolutely wonderful steel. Yes, see, somebody who knows steels will say this every single time. S35VN over M390, Dude, yeah, Spyderco's S30V, good to go. Actually, any heat-treated Spyderco is good to go, Yeah, that's crazy, because AUS 8, AUS 10 are not my favorites. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, dude, D2 used to be absolutely amazing, Dude, yeah, tell me about it. I have some 4V. Like, I'm trying to get rid of this guy, and it's just a ridiculous little knife, Speaking of 4V on a small blade, Spyderco Para 3 lightweight in 4V. If anybody wants one of these, I'm selling it for like $235. You cannot get these anymore. They were limited run. I just never carried the damn thing, But yeah, this is kind of a ridiculous steal to put in something like this, honestly. Yeah, dude, custom D2 can definitely still be great, honestly, like, what matters so much is heat treat, Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Properly done S35VN over most M390, absolutely. And I too am with you. LMAX. LMAX is a badass steel. There's no question, right? Like LMAX is a derivative of M390 and its variants like 20CV. But where LMAX is really, really good, where is it here in the book? In the book, I know they have LMAX. Here it is. It's tougher than M390. Not quite as tough as S35VN, but it's definitely tougher. And it only sacrifices a little bit of edge retention and corrosion resistance versus M390, you know? Oh, wow. That's very surprising. Question is, where do you live? Um, that's can be a factor depending on the ambient moisture, but that's still very rare for S35 because like on the scale that I was talking about here in the knife engineering book, D2, which is known to rust sometimes, is at a 4.5. Anything above a 5 is considered to be stainless, like a true stainless, right? And S35 is at a 7.5. So that's pretty crazy for S35, unless, again, the heat treat wasn't dialed in, you know? Um, I will. I'll see if Shane um, would be interested. Okay, that's crazy. That really is extremely unusual, dude. Brad, I think Spyderco's anything is badass, right? Like if there is one company whose heat treats I can rely on, like from the US manufacturers, actually of anybody, right? Spyderco is number one in my book as far as heat treats. There was a period where they were burning the edges a little bit, but even when they burned the edges, if you just kind of sharpen through that, the heat treat was still completely nailed. So I really have to say, like, yeah, Spyderco is my go-to. From the Chinese manufacturers, Rion has some of the best heat treats. I haven't heard of any problems, but I don't know. And Kaiser's heat treats are pretty damn on the money. Now, you may be wondering why I didn't mention Bestech. Well, it's funny because out of all of the Bestech knives, this guy, an M390, is maybe my only Bestech with a properly heat treated M390. Everything else, and that includes my Vero, this guy, my other Arcanes, heat treat has varied from this OG Necronaut. So I don't consider Bestech to deliver a consistent heat treat, in my opinion. You know, um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. 14C is badass. Like here, guys, listen to this. Okay, 14C on the scale of toughness is a 9 out of 10. Like there's the only not even crew wear. Crew wear is at an 8 out of 10. So if you guys like the toughness of 14C, or if you need a knife that's tough, like basically you only get the same kind of toughness that 14C has out of something that's non-stainless, which is badass. And corrosion resistance is at an 8.5. The only place where 14C is kind of weak is the edge retention, which is at a 3 out of 10. Um, a comparable steel, and you'll often see it with customs, is AEBL, which is at a 9.5 out of 10 for toughness, similarly a 3 for edge retention, and a little bit less corrosion resistance, which is a 7. But you don't really see AEBL in mass production knives, you know. Um, oh, the 0630. I gotta remind myself, um, because okay, yeah, the 0630 is dope. It's definitely dope. If you can track one down, they are hard to come by. You know that me and Patina are ZT 0620 gang, right? Oh no, not 0620, 0640. Sorry, 0640 gang. We love that knife. You should check that one out too if you can get your hands on one. True. Yeah, it's true. They do outsource them, you know. They definitely do. Yeah, you can, just depending on who it comes from, you know. There are some that are less trustworthy. But for example, Kaiser has never, ever steered me wrong. Kubi is a little questionable. Best Tech is a little questionable. Riot is straight. We is mostly straight, I would say, honestly. You know? I don't mind a Kentucky Fried Blade. Man, okay. 12C27 is another interesting steel. Let me see if we got it here. We don't. Unless my eye is skipping over it. But 12C27 and 13C26 are relatively close. It's the difference in like the chromium content. But it's going to be kind of similar to AEBL and 14C. It probably sacrifices a bit of toughness and edge retention. And if I'm not mistaken, that's been the case with 12C, that has slightly worse edge retention than 14C. Probably not as tough, but is going to be fairly corrosion resistant, you know? Yeah, well, and this is why I stress, you know, that it's easier to heat treat, and if you can get a good heat treat, that matters more than the type of steel, you know. So it's really funny, but like the average consumer, not us guys, us like 31, 32 people here in the chat, um, we may understand this stuff, but your average like knife guy actually doesn't even pay attention to this stuff like at all. They just hear, oh, S35VN, oh, I can get that on, you know, $100 knife, despite the fact that there are plenty of M390 blades and knives that you can get for like, you can get M390 from Tucson for like $100, you know? So they just make these crazy assumptions, and it's drives me nuts, you know? Yeah, exactly, Joshua, right? And that's where the toughness comes in. I would much rather have a knife roll an edge, you know, versus chipping, personally. Um, ABL is pretty dope, man. It's not a bad steel by any means. Um, but if I'm getting a steel for toughness, I'd much rather go down the road or pathway of like crew wear or something like that. You know, actually, you know what's a surprisingly tough steel, by the way, is LC200N. If 14C is at a 9 out of 10, LC200N is an 8.5. So you get a similar toughness, similar corrosion, similar edge retention, but a 10 out of 10 on corrosion resistance. So, dude, I don't currently have any AEBL. Yeah, I don't think I have any AEBL. I do have a RWL 34, but I don't have any AEBL. Dude, I'll check that out, man. I want to experience some K390 too. Yeah, dude. That's what they say. Like with K390, the kind of thing that apparently a lot of people go for is the patinaing of the steel. You know, I know when the K390 paramilitary twos or the PM2s came out, a lot of people were like forcing patinas and stuff like that on them, which is interesting. Um, I don't know why you do that, but you know, yeah, exactly, same. Yeah, dude. 14C is badass steel. Is absolutely badass steel. Oh, see, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that ABL was designed for razor blades. So that's pretty freaking dope, man. See, when we pool our knowledge, see, that's how you know you got a good M390 heat treat. But it's truly like a dime, not a dime a dozen. It's like one in a million. That's the problem, right? So there'll be people who have that same QSP knife as yours, and the M390 heat treat won't be as good as yours. And the reason why is because they have these like large ovens, right? And they put all the blade blanks in there for heat treat. And there are a few that get like optimal heat treat. And then there are a bunch that kind of get variations on the heat treat depending on where they are in the oven. And that's the issue, and it can be easier and harder to control depending on the sort of methodology for heat treatment. And M390, the protocol for whatever reason doesn't seem to be as easy to hit, for example, as S35VN. So that's why I use the shit out of this guy. This guy's got one of the best M390 heat treats of any knife I've ever had. I've never had to sharpen this thing. I've barely even had to strop it. And it just keeps going and going and going. And that's when you know you have a good heat treat. So it's weird, Let's see, where else? Where else? Uh yeah, dude, I've had some amazing D2 as well. It's just really funny, man. Like a lot of people discount D2, but it's actually pretty badass. I only have one, technically two knives in S90. And Magna Cut, I've got a couple of knives. I like Magna Cut in concept. It's just I've had some weird experiences dealing with it where like it overstrops really easily. It loses its toothiness. I've had to run it at like much lower grit than I usually would to get like keep and maintain a toothy edge. I don't know. I'm still like on the fence of MagnaCut as a user, but as far as edge retention, it's gone really well, and it's supposed to be fairly tough. So I've been debating whether or not I want to try and use MagnaCut in one of my future knives, if I'm honest. You know, let's see. Do 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 do. Yeah, dude, Joshua, you should definitely post any videos. There, Kyle may be able to answer that, you know. But yeah, MagnaCut was specifically designed from the ground up to be a blade steel. If I'm not mistaken, D2 was originally designed for uh, jet engine blades. Or no, was that a different steel? I may be confusing it, but like D2 used to be a steel that they cut other steels with, at one point in time because it can be really badass if it's done well. Right, exactly. Exactly. And what's so funny with MagnaCut is people don't often take into consideration like its um, design kind of capabilities, right? Like MagnaCut is really optimized for edge stability. So you can make a knife as thin as like a kitchen knife and the edge will not like deform as easily. Not and it's different than toughness, but it's like you can go really thin and the edge will still stay stable, which is pretty rare, you know? Um I don't know if this is true per se, uh, but they're definitely doing a good job of it for sure. You know, yeah, it's the times. The thing is, like, unfortunately, a lot of people like the knife industry gets very trendy. You know, um, it's very trendy. You know, and so whoever is like okay, there's also the logical fallacies, right, are at play here. So people don't want to feel stupid for spending extra money for something that they own, right? So if somebody pays $400 for an M390 knife, M390 to them has to be the baddest ass of the baddest ass steels, or else they paid a lot of extra money for something that's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So like if you get, let's say, a Benchmade bug out, you know, in M390 with like aluminum handles, and you end up spending, $300 plus on what ostensibly is $160 knife at most, you need to justify it. And so all of a sudden M390 20CV is the best steel that's ever been because that's the only way. Like, of course, that's why I paid the extra money over the S30V. So um, that's a lot of what's at play here, to be honest. And then, of course, the trends. D2 was hot, and then it got replaced by the S30, S35, S45, kind of triad, and then M390. Even though S45 came out after M390, and people just kept on hopping, from one to the next, you know. So, and then there's, for a lot of you guys who don't know, there's M398. So that's another version that's like a higher end version of M390. you know, so it's I believe with M398, if I'm not mistaken, the toughness drops a little bit. You get maybe a little bit more edge retention. Um, yeah, it's absolutely consumer bias. You know, yeah, of course, the powder metallurgy is going to be better for sure. You know, um, yeah, like we didn't see that coming. Freaking Microtek's M390. The only difference in the Microtech M390 was they made a change in the, I can't remember what content, basically, so it polishes up a little bit more, shiny than regular M390. But M398 is pretty good stuff, I gotta say, and definitely from Herman, next level for sure. You know. yeah, basically. Yeah, I know what you meant. I thought it would be funny though if they added a little dash of Kyle onto it. You know. Yeah, dude. I don't know. You guys if you guys are into this stuff, right? Like this book gets nerdy as shit. Like, I mean, it's done by the Knife Steel nerd for sure. But dude, like, it's actually really kind of crazy, especially when you start seeing, like, you know, he's got pictures of the grain structures of the steels and all of this stuff, and you can really see, like, he has breakdowns like on these charts about the different performance of different steels. And like, I don't know if you guys are really into knife shit and steels, and I mean there's whole sections of this that I have no business um reading, and is so beyond even like me understanding on some level, right? Um, but it's still an interesting get for sure, right? Basically, if you are into knife shit, there's two books I recommend categorically. Uh, this one for steel info, and this one for how to design a proper knife, you know? So, and this is, of course, done by my boy, Bob Trezola. We love you, Bob. You're an amazing guy. I will own one of his customs one day. That day has not come and may not be coming soon, but he is the godfather of the tactical knife. So, if you guys are, any of you out there, are interested in learning how to design knives, this is the one. This is absolutely the one. It will tell you how to set up lock interfaces. It will tell you how to set up detent ball. It will tell you like all of this stuff, uh, like just here. Where's a little good section, right? Here's a great one. talks to you about how to set up your blade and lock bar interface. Very important shit right here. Very important shit. And Bob Trezzola gave it away in this book for like, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks a book. Absolutely worth it, you know? Hell yeah, dude. I would buy that book. I would absolutely, buy that book. I have never heard of them, Brad. Let me look them up real quick. I'm down to check anything out that is knife related. I mean, if you guys want to send me your OnlyFans, I will check those out too, but I may not be able to do them on stream. Let me see. Here we go. Is there a Menno? Let's see. Did you mean this guy, Captain Brad? Let me load it up real quick. This dude. Not a bad knife. Not a bad knife. Little simple. Not bad. Definitely kind of digging the grinds. You know, he's doing a little bit of like a saber-ish kind of grind. Could definitely use a little bit of refinement. But I like these ones with like the thicker pocket clip designs over these thinner ones. I feel it matches the character a little bit more, if I'm honest. Yeah, that pocket clip, not so much my jam, but I get it if you want a deep carry kind of deal. Not bad. A little simple though for my taste. Okay. Satu Dave's got good taste, man. Fair enough. If Satu gives the seal of approval, then I get it. They must be beefy and strong. For sure. I mean, I can see that he's using, so like here's some giveaways, by the way, you guys. This guy uses tactical knife design like what Bob Trezzola promotes. If you look here at the location of the stomp pin is almost vertically aligned with the lock bar, and the idea here is that you get your best lockup when you get as close to an equilateral triangle as possible. It's impossible to do in practice, right? But what you do is you draw a line from the center of the lock bar, or actually the interface, not the center. Okay. Words. You draw a line from where the stomp pin interfaces with the blade to the center of the pivot to the lowest point that the lock bar interfaces with the locking surface on the blade. And that triangulation is what gives you the strength of your lockup. You'll see some knives, like Shiragorov's, go straight across, right? That's also really great because it's like a flat line, and it's very difficult to break that. But this is the tactical knife way to do this kind of triangulation, you know? So, yeah, it's good stuff for sure. So he is following the tactical knife way, you know. Let me see, Kyle, if I can copy that. I got to go to the YouTubes so I can see if I can copy that. Here we go. Ooh, she pretty. She pretty for sure. Yeah, that's dang. That's nice. Man, I've definitely come around a long way on Damascus. That's some nice carbon fiber. I bet you Maddie would dig on that really hard. Actually, with that black and red, I think that would be up Maddie's alley. What's funny is I kind of like the titanium side a little bit more. Like if the show side was titanium as well. Look at that. Nice micro milling. Nice single large screw. Yeah, man. That's kind of clean. It's kind of nice. Yeah, look at that. Excellent lockup. She pretty. She definitely pretty. Yeah, I dig that. That's dope. That's really clean. Oh, and I like the little cutout relief in the blade as a nice detail to continue the circle for that rear screw. That's nice. It's a subtle thing. They didn't need to do it, but visually it continues the lines. That's when you know somebody actually put the effort into designing something. It's those little things, you know. That's pretty dope. Oh shit! That's Rex 121 Damascus, and that's all they want for it. Jesus, I mean that's a lot of money, right? I didn't even read that up there. Holy crap! But Rex 121 laminated. Sheesh. That's actually a very cheap price for because Rex 121 is an insane steal, y'all. Absolutely insane steal. Heck yeah, Tony Thing. Get some rest, brother. Get some rest. Thanks for humping in, Tony Thing. Kyle, yeah, no shit. That is cheap for what it is. That is very cheap for what it is. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. Dude, you know, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I've been fucking around with like T10s and T15s on my pew pews, you know, and even T20s. I'm not necessarily opposed to this, bro. Like T8s after you deal with like T10, 15 and 20 feels like a T6. Oh man, bro. You gotta live that titanium life, man. It becomes an addiction, which is the dangerous part. But which one did he give you? I'm very curious. Which one did good old brother Ed gift to you? Neil, I just saw this. Oh, that's not a bad idea, bro. Okay, the TS229. Let's pull that up. Oh, okay. Yeah, the TS229. A lot of people really dig on this, actually. I've heard a lot of really positive comments on this model. Um, how do you like it though? I mean, yours has the carbon fiber, right? So you're not getting the full titanium exclusive experience, but let's see. Yeah, it's an M390, which is, always always nice, you know. But like I said, I've heard a lot of people really dig this knife. I mean, that blade shape is definitely up my alley. Oh, and it was designed by my boy Jelly Jerry. That's dope. Oh man, I'm on the fence on Zerk, bro. I'm definitely on the fence about Zirconia, man. I have two knives with Zerk. Hold on one sec. Let me put away my books. Because I always pull shit out during lives, and then I don't put them back, and then I've got like a massive mess on my desk. So I'm on the fence on Zerk. Zerk is really nice, especially when it's all polished up. It looks fucking phenomenal. But for the extra cost, and I don't know, man, the fragility of it, I don't know if it's worth it, dude. I'm on the fence about it for sure. Top Dog, you are an addict, but we share the addiction with you, brother. You know? Ooh, all right, hold on. Dang it, y'all. Let me check this out, and I'll switch over. Dang it, Kyle, I gotta load it up on my phone. Yeah, so Dopey, I just saw that you shared this guy with me. I don't know if you remember, but I was live with Sean before, and I've had some conversations with Sean about these guys, and their methodology for making knives. I dig what Dead Reckon is doing. They definitely have an interesting take. So, for you guys who don't know, this is your first time seeing Dead Reckon knives. They're a new USA manufacturer. They do these full integrals. They do them out of aluminum. They do them out of titanium. They actually press fit their bearings into the handles, and the pivot actually free spins with the bearings, which is interesting, you know. But they have like this whole system with their button lock and everything, and this is their first knife, you know, which is a good looking knife. There's no question about it. And apparently the pocket clip is reversible. So here you can see a better shot of the pocket clip, and it uses that like triangular, mounting system that you see over here. My one issue with this knife, to be 100% quite frank, is the blade to handle ratio, right? So you have a MagnaCut blade, which is great. They're doing the HRC, in an optimal range, which is really great. However, the handle length is 4.83 inches, which is quite a large handle. And the blade length is 3.23 inches. That blade length should be closer to 3.7, realistically speaking, especially because if you look here, come on, they have their finger choil here, right? So that makes the cutting edge length 2.75 inches. So you're literally losing approximately half an inch, and so for me, that's a lot of knife that I don't have a lot of blade for. Actually, that handle length, you could almost fit like a full 4-inch blade in there. So that's my only issue with this knife, to be 100% frank with you guys. Um, I like Sean. I like what he's doing. He is my pew pew daddy for sure. But the blade to handle ratio is really my main concern. You know. Um, Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Yeah, 229 is a badass. You just got to watch it on the close, for sure, for sure. Yeah, there can definitely be schmexy. Yeah, dude, the guy has asked me to do a live, Josh, and I'm I said yes because I'm a glutton for punishment. What can I say? Man. Good morning, brand new American. Welcome, dude. Yeah, yeah. You remember, you were there. Oh, nice. There's nothing wrong with G10, brother. I will never say there's anything wrong with G10. G10 done right is pretty damn awesome, honestly. Uh, for sure. Oh, dang. Okay. Let me know what you think, Dopey. I'm very curious. I'd love to get your opinion. You've had enough exposure to a lot of good knives, and you have shown that you have an analytical eye. That's about all the compliments you'll get from me right now, you SOB. But I would love to hear your thoughts for sure. You know. Rasherbeer, have a good one, dude. Don't work too hard. Hopefully, the day goes easy and goes smooth for you, brother. You know. So this was actually done, Joshua. This was done. Um, Lion Steel actually did this, and of all the companies that you would imagine, they were the ones who actually innovated it, and they patented it. So I wanted to do something like that, but they own the patent. Now, they are not the first and only ones. There are multiple ways to skin the cat, and I'm looking for it right now, by the way, so I can show you. Um, was it Lion? I no, it was Lion Steel. I'm not tripping. I got to go to Blade HQ because they keep a good archive. I think it was the no, it wasn't the M4. Um, Let me pull it up. The issue or the challenge that generally comes up with the that approach is doing it one-handed, you know. So I think it was one of the aluminum. Yes. No, not that model. Dang it. Dang it, Bobby. Oh, maybe they did it with this guy. I'm trying to go as quickly as possible so I don't get behind on the chat. Where is it? Ah, here it is. It was the Rock. The ROK. Okay. So here, let me share my screen with y'all. This guy right here. Okay. So the concept was that you see this tab down here in silver that's actually spring loaded. So if you look on the lock side, this pocket clip is actually flush. It's actually sitting inside of the scale. So when you press that little silver tab, that actually extended the pocket clip out the other side and exposed it so that you could put it in your pocket, which was a pretty dope concept, and pretty much almost got me to buy that knife, because nobody else does this. Nobody else does that. The problem for me always was the price. I mean, look at these. Like, if you want to get it in titanium, $360. Like, no, not doing it. I don't care if it is milled. I don't care if it's integral. I'm just not paying that money for Alliance steel, you know? Like, that's crazy money for sure, you know? Yeah, even 360 on sale. Like, not worth it. But very, very cool idea. And let me see if they show it. There was like a short. Let's see. I guess we can.
Hey folks, my name's
see this. We'll skip ahead. Flipper tab. Oh yeah, they did a removable flipper tab on that guy as well. Disassembly. Nope. Where is the section? Flipper tab design. It was a pretty innovative knife, actually. Are you kidding me? This guy doesn't talk about the fucking pocket clip. Like, the pocket clip is one of the most important parts. Integral frame lock. He disassembles it. Great. Nobody cares. Oh, here we go. So check this out. And then I'll catch up with the chat, right? So he's got a Shamwari. Who cares? And here you can see when he presses that tab on the back side there, right? That actually extends the pocket clip out. And it's spring loaded. So pretty rare. Not many people have actually tackled that. It's kind of like one of the grails of knife design, if I'm 100% honest. But pretty dang cool. A little difficult to do one-handed, though. That's always the issue with these kind of disappearing pocket clips, is they're always a little difficult to do one-handed. And the hold in your pocket is dependent on that spring tension. But an interesting idea, definitely nonetheless. All right, let me catch up here with the chat. Night, Neil. Hopefully I get to say goodnight to you before you knocked out. And yes, you do. You do have the anal eye. For sure. Good night, Twang Thing. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. There's some micarta that's a little bit softer than others for sure. Uh, yeah, it kind of is. A little bit harder to pocket. Like I said, they're not the first and only ones to kind of think of stuff like that. Gustavo Cecchini had a solution, but call it? It also kind of didn't work. If I could get my hands on one of these line steel rocks for cheap, I would consider it. And when I say cheap, I mean as close to $100 as possible because I'm just not willing to spend money on this just for a pocket clip kind of thing, if I'm honest, you know. Um, let's see. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I thought you'd dig that. Oh yeah, Tarot Tough is supposed to be pretty cool shit. There was a guy who was making Tarot Tough scales for Spyderco's back in the day, and I'm not sure if he's still at it, but uh, definitely worth looking into. You know, um, I'm very interested in kind of like experiencing Tarot Tough for the first time myself, if I'm honest, you know. Yes, dude, good freaking memory. Holy crap, Kyle. That was a few years ago, bro. Like a few years ago. Dang. Good memory. Good memory. Yeah, Fireside used to do some dope stuff for sure, for sure. And let me see, what else can we chat about? So we talked about finishes a bit, talked about some, blade steel stuff. Man, blade steel stuff always gets my blood boiling for sure, just because, like, for a lot of these people who are spending a lot of money, right? Like, I get it. Like, people buy with their eyes first, right? Totally get that. 100% get it, you know? Uh, and you're free to do what you want with your money. I'm not one to judge, right? But once you purchase, especially if it's something that you're passionate about, right? If it's a hobby, stop and learn a little something along the way, you know? And learn, like, okay, this is good, that's good, why is this good, why is that good? You know what I mean? Like, and it frustrates me a little bit that a lot of consumers haven't done that, you know? They just kind of sit in these camps of like their own biases. And I'll be the first to say, like, oh, okay, I was wrong. I learned something that I didn't know before, you know? Uh, because there's nothing wrong with having that humility. Admitting you didn't know something or that you learned something new is not a weakness by any means, you know? It's, I feel, and I could be wrong, some people may see it as weakness, but I feel it's exemplary of like a good character to be able to acknowledge that, you're not perfect, you don't know everything, but you're trying to. You're trying to learn, you're trying to increase your knowledge and awareness and improve. It's the person who doesn't put the effort into improving every day that I think is the weak one, you know. Um, when you can improve, you're better tomorrow than you were today, you know. So, uh, and I'm not perfect by any means. God, I got a shit ton I got to work on in my own life, you know. Always trying to become a better designer, better man, you know. Uh, get my shit together better today than I had it yesterday, you know. But that's the struggle of life, you know. Like, and admitting you don't know and you learn something new is kind of the first step in that direction. So, just my little philosophical moment right there, you know. Oh, really? Dude, the goat scales. I've heard good things. I don't have anything made by them, but I'm definitely whatchamacallit. I'm definitely interested. I don't do a lot of knife modding, you know, but I've heard really good things, you know. That is a pretty badass combination, actually. 14C with Tarot Tough and Kydex. Could be dope, could be affordable. Oh, dang. Oh, what was that there used to be a thing before Craigslist. Man, where you could like post stuff for sale. I don't know, maybe it was an LA thing or like a West Coast thing, but they had stuff like that. It was like a forum. It's how I found my first apartment when I moved to LA. But they used to have a missed connections thing. Maybe it was Craigslist, but uh, let me see. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, it was Craigslist, but yeah, they have like a misconnections thing, dude. And bro, that's how Dopey plays the knife game. Craigslist misconnections. Oh, dude, I haven't hopped on Craigslist in a minute, man. Dang, that took me back. That took me back, back, back. Hey, man, that's always the challenge, bro. You know, uh, getting the motivation is hard. Is hard, but find the what's the advice that people say? Um, find the thing that you would do for free and make that your job, right? Like it's always a good piece of advice, I feel, you know. Yes, it does. Craigslist definitely still exists. It absolutely still exists. Yes, yes, it is. I would even say later, like 3 to 5. Yeah, no, 3 a.m. is a good time. That's when the weirdos come out to Walmart. Oh man, actually, what's so crazy is I loaded up freaking Craigslist just to see, and holy crap, bro, there is some weird stuff. You know, there's still some weird stuff. Oh God, Craigslist. Yeah, you absolutely do. It can't be your. I don't think it would be your full time job. but it's definitely a part-time job for sure. I think what you can do is you can here's a way of thinking about it, Dopey. Um, your time is your time. Your time is valuable, right? And uh, it took time and skill. Took time and effort to gain the skills that you do have with anodization. And I'm sure there's some equipment that comes into play and some equipment that you would like to get further on down the road. Uh, so those are elements in the equation. And what you can do if you need a base, so part of the challenge of always setting a price is knowing what is what is acceptable, right? So message people like the knife modders and hit them up and be like, hey, listen, I was wondering if you could anno a knife for me. What's the price? And hit up a few of them, right? And ask them, what do they charge? And that will give you a base price, you know? And then the other part is, just saying like, hey, listen, this is my cost. This is what it's going to take me, and make sure that like or if you can, try to figure out how to get close to at least like $100 an hour. If it takes you 15 minutes, you know then break down the hour into quarters and say, okay, then it's 25 bucks or something like that, right? So those are two different methodologies, that I would think of, you know. Thank you, Crispy. I love you, brother. Thank you for the kind emails, man. I see them. I wait to tell you in the lives, but I always appreciate the emails, bro. They mean a lot. I really do appreciate that you take the time, brother. We definitely need to catch up on the phone one of these days soon, man. Just touch base, you know. Bro, I understand this. I went down a pretty depressive streak when my mom passed away back in 2014, actually. It was really difficult. I was close to graduating from my program in design school. I was trying to set up a business. It was hard to find focus. Part of what happens when you get into one of those depressive streaks is like all of us, on some level try to avoid it. Um, but the only way through it is through it. I hate to kind of put it this way because it sounds like word salad, right? But like, um, sometimes you have to really engage with the sadness and the loss in order to come out the other side. Um, and sometimes, like, even taking, 10 minutes out of your day and just to like focus on the sadness and the loss, feel it really intensely for those like 10-15 minutes, and then saying, like, okay, I'm going to go and try and do something else for a little while. After that can help. I mean, it helped for me, you know. I don't profess to have all of the answers or any answers really, but like, um, I remember, like, I would sit there and I would just sit and feel and focus on it, for a while. And for me, I went through all of the stages of grief, um, and you just kind of have to give it time. Loss of a loved one, especially a loved one, if you had a good positive connection with them, is always difficult, just know, like, we're here, people are here for you, and the one thing that gave me a little bit of solace in the loss was, um, everybody goes through it. Everybody. Nobody is immune from this, you know? and it is something that we will all need to contend with if we haven't. And there are people who've gone through it before you, and you can lean on them because they understand. They've gone through it personally. So don't worry, you know. Um, but as I said, the only way through it is through it. Like that's the truth, you know. But it takes time. It just does for different people. Some people get over stuff pretty quickly. For me, it took like a good year plus, you know. Um, and it just is what it is, you know. Let's see. Let me catch up. Yeah, this is what I was saying. You should definitely ask around. You should definitely ask around, you know. Um, let's see. Yeah, but Dopey, because don't forget you're offering a service, you know. It's difficult. Okay, in business, the easy way for me to explain it to you of how you should take your approach, it's very hard for Honda to make a supercar and sell it, right? You wouldn't want a Honda that costs $1 million, but it's really easy for $1 million supercar company to make a Honda. So like it's better to start a little bit high and then come down versus starting low and then charging more, because then people will be like, well, you used to charge this much, you know. Just be fair with your prices, and that's where calling other places and asking them or dropping them a DM, uh, is um is a good place to go from, Yeah, believe it or not, Kyle is actually a really great guy to talk to. Kyle's got a wealth of life experience for sure. You know, I dig that. That's dope. That's a good name. That's very, very good name. This is another guy. Crispy Critter will get your back, brother. Crispy's a good dude, bro. You know, don't be afraid to kind of like talk your shit out. Crispy understands and knows what it is to see both the light and the dark side of life, and he has definitely found the light, and he is a beacon of light. So, uh, definitely, definitely, yep. And that's an excellent piece of advice too. Yeah, that's a big challenge, Dopey, and I get that, brother. Believe me, I get that more than you know. It is it's difficult, especially like sometimes like I think like, oh, well, what do I do? Anybody can do what I do, right? But if anybody was doing what you're doing, they'd be doing it. you know? So you took the time to learn a skill that not everybody else has, and the stuff that you're doing, like what you did with Maddie's knives, dude, was phenomenal. I mean, I sent one of my Veloces to knife modders to get anode, and their anode job was nowhere near as good as what I saw you put out for for Maddie. honestly. Now that may have to do with some of the finish on the Veloce, but I was not terribly impressed with their anal work. It actually turned out kind of muted and kind of just, I don't know. It didn't turn out as nice as I was hoping, you know. So credit to you, bro. Like you're doing some good shit. So don't be afraid to say like, hey, I developed a skill set, and charge for it, you know. So yeah, I agree. I agree with this sentiment, you know. This is true too. Be very aware. I will tell you this, man. Um, it's best if you can find it from inside, because you will experience loss and you will experience sadness again. If you always externalize the source of, your motivation, or you're doing it for somebody else, it'll be very difficult for you to do it for yourself in the future. Truthfully, that's something that always I is something I've had to learn myself. Like, I used to try and get in shape for like the people I was dating, or make changes and improvements in myself for the people I was dating, and had to get to the point where I was doing it for myself because I value me, you know, and I'm important enough to do that stuff for. I'm still not completely there yet, but I'm getting there. That's what I was talking about with like making a effort to improve yourself every single day. None of us are perfect. None of us have got it figured it out. We're all just trying to figure shit out on a day to day basis, bro. But the more you can find an internal motivation, an internal sort of guidance and value in yourself to say that, hey, I'm worth it, and I can be better tomorrow. If you can do anything to make tomorrow feel a little bit better than today, do it. And then the next day you make even 1% better than it was, the day before, and then the day before, you know what I mean? Or the day after that, make 1% of joy. You'll get there. You'll absolutely get there. It's hard to see in your position, but these are the tools that, for example, I developed. It's like, okay, feel like shit. Feel you will feel shitty. And you just realize, like, okay, I'm gonna get through this. I'll get through it at some point, but you also got to make the effort. Even 1%, un poquito, just a little bit, and then you'll get there. You know. Sweet, dude. Brian, always bringing the fucking helpful sauce, man. By the way, you guys, Brian here is one of the jewels of the community for sure, man. I had no idea that I was meeting such a good dude when I met him at the Kaiser dinner. And I'm very thankful that I met him, man, because he's been nothing but a bright, shining light into our community ever since, man. And dude, we're very happy to have you. We're very happy to have you. I like to celebrate y'all, and Brian is definitely a great one, man. Exactly, Kyle. Exactly. That is the truth. That is definitely the truth. And yeah, Finding motivation is a you know is the big challenge. But like we all went through it, man. We all did. We definitely did. Hell yeah, brother. I wish the glass was full of something tasty, but cheers to you, my brother in Dixon cider. Fine. I'll take your sloppy seconds, Dopey. I'm okay with that. All right, fine. Dopey, front or back, your choice. I'm good either side. Oh man, that was such a good night. Do you guys remember how freaking drunk Kay got that night? She was hammered, hammered by the end of the night, bro. Like, that was actually before I knew. Okay, so little known thing behind the scenes, right? Like, dude, Kay was like super excited to meet me. She's like, "Oh, you're my favorite designer. I love the Grazioso. It's like my favorite knife ever." You know, all of this stuff. So your boy thought he had an in, but I didn't know Kay and Damon were dating. So like that night, I was like, "Oh dang, you know, she's drunk. She's being a little flirty." You know, yada yada yada. I thought boy had a chance, and then I kind of noticed Damon swooped in and was like kind of being a little protective, and I was like, I think I know what's up now. And that's kind of when I got the first hint that they may be a couple, you know. And then lo and behold, you know, clearly they are a couple. They left Kaiser to start Pyrotech together, and now they are engaged, which is crazy, you know. So, bro, uh, totally threw me for a loop that night, though. Your boy thought he had a chance. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, dude. Exactly. Exactly, man. Yeah. Dude, budget guy. That is one of the keys, actually, by the way. Like, look into like Jordan Peterson and stuff like that. He'll tell you, man, make your bed in the morning, clean your space. Clean space equals a clean mind, my dude. Oh, you know it, brother. You know it. Really? Really? Dang, bro. Like you I mean maybe I was a little too singularly focused, but yeah, it took me till the dinner for me to kind of get a clue. I'm not gonna lie. Uh I kind of felt like a dick, you know, after that, you know, because you know, I'm not like a home wrecker type at all, you know. But yeah, dude, that once I realized, I was like, oh snap, okay, misread, misread. Yeah, man, your boy definitely had those intrusive thoughts. Dude, yeah, Damon is hilarious and freaking adorable, you know. He has no idea what to do with any of that, you know. And it like low key, I think, kind of freaks him out a little bit because he's just like, huh, like what's going on, you know? But he's so sweet, dude. He is so sweet. He's a good dude. Like Damon is legit like a good guy, I gotta say, you know, and very good guy. Yeah, I was. Kyle with the bangers. Ah, good read, my dude. Good read, bro. That's fucking. I did not catch it at all, honestly. But imagine though, right? Because Kay's a little sweetheart, you know. Imagine you're Damon. You gotta really play like freaking, you know, like you gotta play defense hard, like hard, man. There were dudes that were coming out of the woodwork for Kay for sure, man. And like that must have been a challenge. Must have absolutely been a challenge, you know? But dude, one of my favorite pictures though from Blade Show. Dopey, I don't think we got any pictures together, did we? If you do, send them to me, dude. But me and the boy Ed Harrison, bro. This was definitely a highlight for me in the pit. It was awesome to see Ed, man. Very, very cool. And there's Kate talking to Vu. Right there. Yeah. The man, Vu Fam. Awesome guy. Stand up dude. Absolute stand up dude. Love that guy. And but freaking Blade Show was awesome. Was absolutely awesome. I can't wait to get back at it. Get back out there. Yeah, we definitely do. We got to get pictures, man. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking. Let's be real. All of us fucking just chatting nonstop, you know? Uh, but your boy's got to get a little slimmer before the next show, you know? I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, God damn, who is that wildebeest? And I'm already down about 30 pounds. Yeah, like 30 pounds. So I still got to lose more though. Like 30 pounds ain't enough. I want to lose more than double that, if not triple that, to be quite frank. You know, dude. Yeah, that was a shame, bro. She was giving me mad signals. I don't know if that was her intent by any means, but bro, like she was giving me mad signals, you know, and like very kind, very sweet, would like go out of her way, you know, to kind of greet me and say what's up and all of this stuff. And yeah, I had no idea because I always look for the ring on the finger, you know. I always look for the ring on the finger. And yeah, definitely was not there, or I didn't see it, you know. So I'm trying to see. Uh, nope, definitely not. I doubt that. Right there. Yeah, I was gonna see if I could show y'all a picture, but can't find her. Can't find her. Oh, dang. Yeah, dude, I didn't even get a picture with Urban or Forrest or Snuzz. Like, I just had to rely on my freaking memory, bro. Like, it's so sad because, like, I made some really great friendships there, and to, like, not have even a picture, like, I didn't need to have video, but just, like, even a picture with the boys would have been the way to do it, you know? Hey man, that's what clippers are for, bro. That's what clippers are for. Hey man, I don't know if you want to come back to California with the cost of living out here, my dude. Honestly, I keep on thinking like about okay, like freaking Urban was talking about how he was frustrated over gas prices going up to $3 a gallon. Okay, both of my cars take premium, and premium here in my town is over $5 a gallon. So thank God I fill up maybe once every 2 weeks, uh, mainly because like I work from home, you know, and I rarely need to go out. Like I mostly go out for like car meets or to go to the pew pew range, you know. But when he was talking about that, like literally, I think gas today was like $5.40 a gallon. That's for gas. That ain't even for like mortgage, rent, eggs, the basics, you know. Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Dude. Like the advantages to living in California really are dwindling. I got to say from an honest perspective, right? Like California is nice, don't get me wrong. And LA is a lot of fun to visit. Would never live there again if I could, like if I can avoid it. Living there is no different than living anywhere else in my experience, you know. Um the pew pew laws suck for sure. I found my ways around them. So, like, I'm still completely legal, but still, they suck, you know. And yeah, man, like everybody talks about the weather, but like there are plenty of places with good weather. Like it's not like California has a monopoly on the good weather in this world, you know. Uh, so I don't know, man. Like I really I'm losing the love affair for sure with the state of California. There's no question in my eyes that it's dwindling for sure. For sure. And God. Yeah, dude. That see like that hurts me. That hurts me. And I'd still have to like search, like hard. Figure out where I'd want to be. Yeah, tell me about it. See, I would agree with you, except I lived in the Midwest and I don't want to deal with snow. Like I will punch a baby before I plow snow again. I just ugh, man. Yeah, see, like I live in North Central California and I like it for me a lot more. Smaller town, a little bit more conservative values. So we have a nicer community. People kind of treat each other with respect out here, which is really kind of nice. You don't get any of that LA like sort of BS entitlement and, you know, uh, stuff like that, like you get in SoCal, particularly LA. San Diego's pretty chill, but LA definitely is douchey to the max. Um, and yeah, like basically nobody bothers you because nobody cares what you're doing out here, which is nice. I like that kind of thing, you know? That's hilarious. That is freaking hilarious. Welcome, Pedro, by the way. It's nice to see you, dude. Yeah, man. I've heard good things about North Carolina, honestly. You know? Um, I don't mind mountains, man. But I kind of like being not like super close to the water because it's always expensive, but like right now I can drive like 2.5 hours and I'm at the ocean. It was a little bit nice in LA because assuming there's no traffic, it was like 30 minutes to the ocean. And but if I could be like 30 minutes to an ocean, that would be really nice, you know? I've heard good things about Utah and Montana. Idaho, I've driven through Idaho. In my experience, there's not a lot there, but I also could have missed a lot. So I'm not sure if I'm the best judge for Idaho. And Arizona, t- talk to Maddie. From what I understand, Arizona's getting pretty expensive, you know? Yeah, yeah. Javon's a good dude, man. Dude, Kyle, believe me, I spent a lot of time throughout the Midwest. I spent a lot of time throughout the Midwest. I used to know the Chicago streets like the back of my hand, the Chicago suburbs, Indiana, pretty much everything from Fort Wayne north. I knew Indiana in and out. Ohio, I kind of avoided for the most part, mostly because like a lot of Ohio people that I met at the time were very strange people. Little bit of brother sister loving from the people that I met from even the big cities in Ohio. It's kind of strange. But Zach is definitely turning that opinion around for me. You know. Uh, oh dang. Yep, fair. If you got 120 or 112 acres, I don't even need a full acre. Really. Yeah, exactly. All right, all right. Bet, dude. Dude, yeah, Chicago back in the day used to be badass. Actually, I don't know where it's at now, but we're talking Chicago in like the early 2000s. you know, when it was like a vibrant, nice city, with like minimal crime, you know? Dude, you gotta hook up with him, man. Zach's a solid dude. I really like Zach a lot. He's good folks, man. He is definitely very good folks, you know? And I definitely like him a lot from like all of the people from Ohio that I've met so far, aside from you. You know, Kyle gets Kyle gets the exclusion. Kyle's good people, y'all, for sure. He doesn't like people to know it, but he's a good dude. He's definitely a good dude. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, Pedro. Definitely stuck in Cali for a while. You know, my dad lives here, and uh, I moved up here to be closer to him. He's like some of my only family in the entire country. You know, so it's I like to be nearby. He's all I got left. So all the rest of my family is overseas, and they are always of the opinion that we got to go to them, which is annoying. You know, uh, like my family in Egypt, I've only had like them come over here if it was work related. You know, so uh, I definitely like having that family bond. And my dad's a good dad. We have a good relationship. You know, so man, hey man, that's an improvement, man. You don't need a butcher. You definitely don't. But it's nice to have if you do. Yeah. Yeah. Chicago in the 90s and the 2000s was dope. Was a great place. Absolutely great place. Um, Dude, I actually, right now, I would not want to be in any of the major cities. I mean, you can get around like LA and not deal with a lot of the BS, which is kind of nice. But like San Francisco, last time I went there, oof, and to think that I wanted to move there, I was like, oh man, the girls here are great. Like I can walk everywhere, which would have been nice to like keep the weight down. But dude, that place turned into butthole, like a true butthole. I'm so glad I wasn't living there throughout all this time. Hell, even downtown LA turned rough. And when I mean rough, I mean freaking rough. Like it is. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, no, none of these pictures do it justice for what it looks like now. Uh, like a lot of downtown LA, especially like around the time where I moved, look like an extension of Skid Row, like this. Just tent cities everywhere, just garbage everywhere, you know, like like that kind of shit, you know. And then they started putting up fences like on the sidewalk, like this. Literally, this mural right here, you could see from the entrance of my apartment. Like, this is the corner that I lived on, you know? And they imagine all of this around this beautiful mural. By the way, these apartments were like $3,000 a month. These ones, not the ones that I lived in, but this particular apartment was like 3,000 a month, and then you come outside and you're greeted by shit like this. This is fucking horrible, you know? And yeah, they tried to do their best to like clear it out, and then the people would come back, and then, you know, they started putting like, well, this isn't a picture of it, but they would put like fences like this through the center of the sidewalk. And it's just, that's not an improvement. It's, let's see. Oh no, that's just an old versus a new picture. But yeah, it was just bad. Like, you'd see people sleeping on the side of the road like this, like all the time. I used to have like a collection of photos of like stuff like that, like just like this, like homeless people sleeping on the sidewalk and in little alcoves and shit like that. It's kind of the stuff you get with a big city, which I don't have a problem with. Like, I can deal, you know, but it became really bad to the point where you can like walk the sidewalks, you know. So and let's see. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. Damn straight. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's the kind of shit you'll see nowadays in the major cities, you know? Yep. Dude, I've seen it. I've seen exactly that, you know? So what, does it tell you just to avoid everywhere? Yo, what's up, brother? How you doing, Gone? Good to see you. These guys strong-armed me into doing a live tonight. I wasn't planning on it, but they wanted to keep going after Set Faction. So, here I am, 3 hours later. A literal shit map. Yeah, exactly. Dude, yeah, no. The San Francisco's just turned horrible. Turned absolutely horrible. It's so bad, man. Like, it was such a dope place. Again, like in the early 2000s, early to mid, even 2010s. Like, dude, I used to like go there and party, and like I had friends in the city. It was fucking sick. Even like the Tenderloin, which is known to be like a rough place, like was not that bad. Like, especially if you grew up in Detroit, it was like nothing, you know. But now it's, from what I heard, there's like regular drive-bys and all sorts of crap there. Like, dude, like I look up the Tenderloin, right? And the pictures look just like what I was just showing you from, you know, downtown LA. Same stuff. Same stuff. Trash. Tent cities. You know. None of that was there when I was visiting. Like, ever. Like, you'd have transvestite prostitutes and some dudes who were kind of like rough around the edges, but You never even had stuff like this in the Tenderloin back in like the early 2000s, you know, um, like at all. I had an on again, off again hookup that lived there, you know, so uh, I spent a fair amount of time there. I did, brother. I definitely did. Man. Ooh, hell yeah. Vietnamese coffee is crazy. Man, if y'all want a caffeine high, drink this shit that I drink. The freaking primes. Each can is freaking 200 milligrams of caffeine. Like a cup of coffee is 50. This is like 4 cups of coffee. It's no bueno, but bueno. It definitely is. Yeah, basically. Okay, dang, dopey. That's rough. Caffeine is bad for you. It actually is. Like, it does a lot of bad stuff for your body. I got to get off caffeine for a little while, actually. I think it would do me really well, but I will not. You think like me passing out now is bad? Like, I will be non-functional human being for at least a week or two if I quit my current caffeine addiction. For sure. No questions asked. Man. Oh man. Can Strider do a drop of knives that are cheap, for God's sakes? Ugh. Jesus Christ, Dopey. That is rough, dude. You know what I used to do, by the way, Dopey? Like back when I was in school, I used to like for 14 weeks at a time have like a massive caffeine addiction, of course, because like in my school we would not sleep on average 2 to 3 nights out of a week for 14 weeks. Like literally pull all nighters, you know. After 14 weeks, I would go cold turkey on caffeine for about 3 weeks. And after the first week, dude, even if I had like a cup of coffee, it would hit me like a ton of bricks and I would have crazy caffeine high. So, may not be a bad idea to give that a shot, my dude. I need to do it myself, if I'm 100% honest with you. Um, I need to get back to cutting myself off from caffeine every once in a while. It's good for the heart. Definitely good for the heart. You definitely want to protect your heart too, you know, honestly. Ooh, these are interesting. I don't know how I feel about these. They're kind of cool. Check these guys out, dudes. This is carbon stripping basket, I guess. He makes carbon fiber products for fly fishing, EDC gear, and traveling, apparently. But check out these scales. These are what kind of just caught my eye. Very interesting. So they're carbon fiber, you know, with like the top surface polished and then milled into for this like contrasting pattern here. I don't think I've seen that before done with carbon fiber, especially not aftermarket scales. I think that that's pretty interesting. Okay, this guy could stop showing us how a compression lock works because everybody kind of knows. Show me the damn scales. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. And he does other patterns. Huh. I mean, some of these are not really my jam, I'll be honest. Um, but it's definitely an interesting concept. Like that. That's definitely very interesting. Or like this. Ooh, that's kind of dope. I don't know what's going on here with these sections that look kind of broken, but maybe he milled through these and then he's filling them with resin. I mean, I'm guessing because he has putting them in a vacuum chamber. So, huh. Yeah, maybe it's something like this. Yeah, yeah, this is epoxy resin. Okay, okay. Huh. Interesting shit, dude. Definitely interesting shit, I gotta say. Yeah, there's the 3D. Okay. Nice to see something a little different. Yeah, there's definitely he's into fly fishing and carbon fiber for sure. But yeah, if you guys do carbon stripping basket or carbon stripping basket. Definitely interesting stuff. Let me know if you guys want that. I'll drop a link to you guys. Ah, funny guy, funny guy. Yeah, yeah, I think there's a giveaway. I don't know how it came up in my feed, but it did, you know? Yeah. I mean, I've done that for the most part. The thing that I do, or the reason why I do like the primes, is they're zero sugar, four carbs, and I'll have like one or two of these a day at most. So there have been days where I've had three, but I don't like doing three. I definitely prefer to stay down at like one or two, you know? Yeah, they're definitely interesting for sure. Yeah, basically. Yeah, a good artist can make most things. You just got to learn the tools, you know? You just got to learn the tools. Yeah, I've been on the fence about Bang. I heard they use like alcohol sugars, and I've had a bunch of stuff with alcohol sugars in it. It's not really for me, but I could be wrong. You know, I could definitely be wrong. I have never heard of this chick or seen her, but plus one for hot chicks. Definitely plus one for the hot chicks. Yeah, most of my stream or like my feed is like different knives, custom knives, occasional hot chick, occasional car stuff, and pew pews. That's pretty much all I sustain myself on. It's just funny because I've got other Instagram accounts. I don't even log into them. It's just knives, pew pews, and then occasionally like badass chicks, you know? Like, dude, this chick, by the way, if you guys like electronic music, this girl is nuts. Yeah, I won't play more than that because it's a little loud. For some of you, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. But Sarah Landry, absolute beast. Absolute beast. But yeah, car stuff, knife stuff, car stuff, knives, 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 pew pews, knives, 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 ladies, knives, pew pews, patches, knives, knives, knives. Cool scaled material. Flying Shark makes some dope stuff for sure, but y'all get the idea. That Benchmade. That. Yeah, I try not to do drugs for sure. Yep, plus one, plus one. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Definitely there for it. Right? Dude, Josh. Oh, well, first of all, hey, what's up, dude? How you doing? And what's really funny is, okay, if you guys want to see my search tab, it's going to be funny because it's a lot of it actually is German shepherds, believe it or not, or dogs. Where is this one right here? So knives, car stuff, motorcycle stuff, car stuff, and German shepherds. Look at that puppy. Doggos, design, nice stuff, and more doggos, and puppies. Yeah, that's my search tab. I actually get less of the women in my search or like my like for you curated stuff, you know, and more knives and doggos. Yeah, alligators. Love them, love them, love them, love them. Love Dobermans, and occasionally I get some hawk stuff, which is also pretty dope. Yeah, look at that gangster peregrine. So cool. Yeah, see? No women, which is really funny, man. I used to get a lot, but these guys are also sick. Yeah. Chasing Status, if you like drum and bass, is the hotness right now. Absolute hotness. Occasionally I get watches, but mostly doggos. Doggos and knives. Oh yeah, and then occasionally girls. Raver girls. That's it. I'm definitely low on the chicas, you know. What's going on, Cheeto? How you doing, brother? Yeah, I get some of those too. Hi, Kyle. Have a good one. Oh god, yeah. I definitely am not into what is that, pre-workout or whatever, man. Ejecto Cheeto cuz. Man, hopefully you have a good day at work, Cheeto. Be safe. Come back to us in one piece. Do it, Dobie. Do it. Oh, I didn't even know that she existed, but that's awesome because I love the Techno Viking and I dig me some Raver chicks for sure. But okay, dudes, like it's what 3:20 in the morning for me. I'm glad you guys all showed up. Really, I was not expecting anywhere near any of you guys to show up actually, but I'm starting to get tired for sure. I don't know about y'all. Dude, you should go for it. Night shift is chill, especially if you work at some places where like, people just don't whatchamacallit, um don't really check it out or there's nothing of like high value there. It's not a bad shout, dude. Not a bad shout. I'm dwindling, guys. I mean, it's 3 o'clock. Y'all go and have a good night. I think I'm gonna end it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, I love seeing stuff like this. I gotta share this with y'all before I go to sleep. Ah, yeah, we'll go here. She kind of cute. She's kind of cute. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't mind the truck. I don't follow her, but I'm about to. I'm definitely about to. She got that cute smile thing where her like lip kind of wraps up, man. I dig that. I definitely dig that. Oh, she's Argentinian, man. Argentinian women have some fire personalities. Like they can be hot, they can be spicy. That's for sure. I dated a chick who was half Argentinian, half Armenian, and whew, handful for sure. And but alrighty, fellas, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Like I said, I'm dwindling. My ass has been sitting in this chair for at least 3 hours. I gotta like stand up and move, bro. Actually, we can do a bit of that. Well, I say goodnight. Yes. Oh, let's do a bit of that. Yes. I needed this. I needed to stand. Alrighty, fellas. Have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be good. Stay positive. Stay hopeful. And go out and get some sick stuff. Appreciate every single one of you showing up here. I can't believe y'all did. It's pretty awesome. I did not expect to go live tonight, but I'm glad I got to spend it with y'all. I really do mean that. As always, appreciate you guys. Peace. Peace.